difference is, though, that Morgs will have, and Harbhajan will have people behind them who have great cricketing knowledge. How much cricket knowledge do you need as well, or is statistical in what you're doing? So you're turning up to Bangalore and you know it's going to spin or whatever. How much of the on-ground people do you have giving you cricket knowledge?
So, we have Jonty Rhodes, who produces content for us. So he puts out content prior to the start of games, and he, because he has played around the world and he knows what the wickets usually look like, he gives his favorite picks on social media. And so if you're playing at StarPick, you look at Jonty's video, and so you don't really need a lot of knowledge, but it is a game of skill. So there is some skill involved. You have to spend some time on picking your team. It's not at random.
And do the fans jump on you in India, Harbhajan, if you're not performing for their StarPick side, etc.? Do you think they jump on you anyway if you're not performing?
Yeah, not on this side for sure. And at the moment they are not, because they're too busy playing themselves, and of course they do get angry when Jonty says pick this, pick that one, and that guy didn't perform, and then suddenly Jonty gets into a bit of trouble. But cricket is big in India, but that's the reason we have done the numbers what we were looking for to do there, and it's an exceptional number in very less period of time. We have achieved that, and great. It's going great, and hopefully it will get even more bigger.
Must get on to the cricket, and obviously the Test match. You were there working for Sky. How much did you enjoy the Test match? With everything that's going on with Test cricket, it was a great 3.5, 4 days of cricket.
Unbelievable. This was one of those Test matches I would remember it for a long period of time. This was not a boring Test match, to be honest. Test match sometimes gets really boring. When you're playing, especially in India, where one batter is there and he's batting and he never gets out. And this was a great Test match where everything was happening for bowler, and if you're a good batter, you're always there to score runs, and absolutely brilliant game to watch. And that's the way Test cricket should be. It is the way going forward. Getting the results. Ball is doing quite a bit. There's always a challenge. So I loved it, honestly.
Do you think we're too, looking back, thinking Test match cricket is the greatest? You hear players at the end of that Test match say, "Yeah, this is what it's all about." Joe said it. As England's white ball captain, do you still see Test match cricket as the pinnacle, or are you saying no, we're in charge?
No, I do, and have done for a long time. Obviously, the World Cups in between the Test matches is obviously huge. But I watched the whole Test match. I was fascinated and intrigued by everything that happened. And two good sides going hard at it. I don't think you can beat that. For me, the disappointing thing was not getting bums on seats at the ground. Watching the third day, the atmosphere was brilliant, but probably not maximised at that sort of level. And you want to expose young kids. So, if you can get them in somewhere between 8 and 12, expose them to a game of cricket like that, they'll fall in love with the game.
And what about yourself? You're back playing for Middlesex. Do you look at that and think those days have gone, or do you think I would still like to be a part of that?
They're gone. Those days are gone. Yeah, I'm too far behind. Probably opportunity missed along the way somewhere. But the guys in the team are very, very good, and I'm not that good.
I must ask you a couple of things Middlesex related. How do you think David Milan will react to being left out yesterday?
Yeah, David's a very determined character, and I think he'll see this as an opportunity to get back into the Middlesex side and score runs and be the next man in line if somebody does get injured, or they want to go back to playing a left-hander in the middle order. I don't think he'll sit around and sulk. He's not that type of a fella. I think he'll get on with his business. He'll be very professional about what he does. And it's hard to take when you're dropped at any level of cricket. Probably worse than club cricket, going from the ones to the twos. It's always a good excuse going to the twos. They can't play next week. But I think he'll make the most of it.
And looking ahead, that Lord's pitch better than anyone. Mick, I think it's his last year. He's announced his retirement. What do you think his last Test pitch is going to be like?
Again, it's going to be interesting. With the weather that we've had, I think it will be dry. It's so difficult to keep moisture in the square at Lord's with the drainage system that's been in place for the last 7 years or so. So I'd expect it to turn probably on day 2 or 3, which is going to make it difficult.
Would you play Moeen Ali then? Or?
I would look at playing 2 spinners, whoever the 2 spinners might be. I'd probably look into that.
And what about you, Harbhajan? Firstly, about the spinners, but also about the batsmen. Let's talk spin first. Would you play 2 spinners against England at Lords?
Yeah, as England one-day captain is saying, he played most of his cricket here, and he knows these conditions better than anyone. If conditions are dry, wickets is dry, then why not 2 spinners? Then you have to have attacking option. This is what I said even in my Sky built up talk. In the first day in Birmingham, that we should be playing 2 spinners, but that's our strength. And Kuldeep has done well against.
You'd play Kuldeep, or would you?
I think India should look to play Kuldeep because he's a wicket-taking option. He's done well, and they've not read him well. They've not done well against him. So, looking at these conditions, I think India should go with 2 spinners.
But it wasn't the bowling that was really the problem. I mean, it was Virat Kohli against England with the bat. I mean, I think Hardik got 31 in the second innings or something like that. No one else got past 30 in that gun Indian batting line.
Well, it's gun batting on papers, but you have to perform well in these conditions. Then I'll start saying this is a gun batting lineup. In India, where things don't happen for bowlers that often, and everyone can score runs, and this is where you need to show the character, to be with the captain and show what you can do with the bat. And of course, he needed only a couple of guys to raise their game or be with him in the middle. Things could have been different for India, but that's why Virat Kohli is Virat Kohli. Bigger the challenges become, the bigger the player he becomes, and he loves being in those situations and in those challenges. But definitely, he was the only one who was fighting the battle with England. He need more people to raise their game and help him to win games, or at least fight.
No Stokes this week? How much are England going to be? I mean, no surprise that last day, the man well. When the captain needed someone, Ben was there. How much are England going to miss him?
Yeah, I think they will miss him. It is a blessing in disguise that Chris Woakes will be fit. Also, the way Sam Curran performed this week, hugely encouraging. The character he showed when everybody was worried about what would come next after Broad and Anderson, Sam Curran and Ben Stokes stepped up. I thought they were absolutely brilliant. And for such a young guy as well, taking that responsibility on his shoulders, really does open up everybody's eyes. We've seen him at close quarters, but not to that extent. It's very rarely you see somebody train and see more on the field as opposed to what you see in the training ground. Ben is just what you see is what you get. You get absolutely everything. So it will be a loss this week.
And Ollie Pope, how much have you seen of him, and has he been on your one-day radar or not?
He's probably out of the 17 or 18 people that have played with us since 2015. I've played a lot against him, been sort of a little bit of rivalry between the 2 T20 teams and the 50 over comp. I've been very impressed with him. I've watched a lot of feedback cricket of him in particular, and he looks as if he has every shot in the book. He has the temperament. He's produced innings for Surrey that guys probably wouldn't produce until they're 24, 25. So at an early age, I'm not against getting him in if he is the next man. So it's very exciting.
It's safe to say, I think you might have been misquoted a few weeks ago about him. It's not a closed shop, this England side, isn't it? People can make a last-minute push for that World Cup, the likes of Pope and Archer and guys.
Yeah,
depending on what happens.
Yeah, I totally agree. The fact that they haven't played doesn't mean that they're not going to be picked. I think Craig Overton is probably the best example of that. He's been in and around. He's only played one game, got a side strain in that game and has missed out. He's still being watched because he could play a role. We don't. I think we've been lucky with injuries that they haven't all come at once. We've had, say, Wood goes down. Plunkett's always been fit when Wood's gone down. Woakes comes back in. Willie's been fit or not fit. But if 3 guys go down, we're going to need other guys to come in and be in the squad. So it's definitely not a close shot. No.
Harbhajan, World Cup here in England, India-England favourites, do you think, from what you've seen around the world?
Yeah, I think these are 2 very, very strong teams, but I would not discount Australia because they are a very good team. At the moment, they are struggling a bit, but I think they are also one of the favourites. And considering them, they have played so many of World Cups and they have got history of winning big cups, and I would not discount them. So England, India, and Australia as well.
Not to mention Pakistan.
Yeah.
Right, final word with you. Brilliant IPL, magnificent tournament. Brilliant Test series on the offing here, World Cup coming up.
Yeah.
This is a good time to launch something like this. This is a good time to be involved in cricket, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I mean, it is. Well, cricket is one of those games where there's always something going on and there's always excitement. But 2018, 2019 are proving to be exceptional. Well, they're going to be exceptional. Obviously, the IPL for 2019 is going to be one of the biggest ever. 750 million unique viewers around the world. It's perhaps one of the biggest cricketing events in the world, apart from the World Cup, which is also happening next year over here. And extremely exciting times for fantasy sport.
And a good time to be on the Gloucester shirt sponsor as well. You've picked well there, haven't you?
Yes.
You know your picks, which is important.
They picked very well with Gloucester. We're their shirt sponsors the next 3 years. Extremely excited. And being Bristol, being sort of home for us as StarPick, we're sort of headquartered out of Bristol. We partnered with Gloucester and they're doing really well. We're very happy about it.
Lucky you didn't pick Essex or Middlesex. Floor is open to the proper journalists in the room. Over to you.